welcome to Old Guys, Gentlemen Flippers, episode number 52. And today I got a special video in that I've been trying to get a Grimsmo Rask for months, many months. And finally a few are coming on the market, and I grabbed this particular one. It wasn't necessarily my dream Rask, and so there may be another one in my future, and this one might go up for sale if I get that other one. The one I want probably is going to be more expensive than this, and this was expensive enough. But yeah, let's take a look at it. It came in a nice cardboard box that said thanks from John and Eric. Got a few boxes like this I carry my cigars in. Really nice box, really nice presentation. Comes with a T9 wrench for taking the thing apart. I've not taken it apart yet. Almost every knife I've gotten so far, I've had to take apart and adjust the action. I have not done that on this one yet. Is complete with nano oil, which maybe isn't the best oil, but it's a really good oil. A little decal and a little kind of proof of authentication. It's serial number 283. It's got this Agir Damasteel knife, and the pattern on it is crosshatch, and it's got a silver DLC with silicon nitride ceramic bearings, signed by both the brothers, which I think that's pretty cool. So let's put this aside for a second and take a look at the knife. The action is about perfect. The Shuro Gorovs might feel a bit better, like the Neon I think feels just a little bit better than this one, but it's imperceptible difference. And the fact that I did have to adjust the Shuro Gorovs a little bit, in this I don't think I need to adjust at all. Now let's take a look at the really nice Damascus or Damasteel on there. They put the this is one of my complaints. This is Damasteel. Actually, I can see it better on my camera, number 283. I have a devil of time seeing that just on my own. Really nice clip, nice diamond pattern. Some of the specs on it, and one of the complaints I have is I haven't seen, because these haven't sold at a vendor, and the vendors usually show all the specs. They will, show you all the details, but I measured everything, and basically the blade is 3 5/8 of an inch, which is a good size for me. 3 to 3.5 to 3.8 inches. Oh yeah, here's another thing I thought kind of looked neat. See if I can capture this. Yeah, I'm not getting the right light, but the Damasteel markings on this line up really nice. And if I take that light away, yeah, can't really see it, but trust me, it looks really nice. The blade is 3 5/8 inch. If you just measure edge to tip, it's about 3 3/8 inches. There's no sharpening choil on it, and the sharpening kind of ends when it starts to get thick. So I am going to sharpen this knife. That could be a little bit of an issue. I'll have to be really careful around here, otherwise I'll be scuffing this area up. The handle's 4 1/2 inches. Overall, it's 8 inches in length. Blade thickness is a nice thin 1/8 of an inch, and I think that's the main difference between this and the Shuros. I think the Shuro blades are a little bit heavier, and that extra heft you can feel in the flipping action. But there's nothing I could do to make this action any better. It's a little disappointing because I like adjusting knives, and this one is already perfect. When I first put it in my hand, I thought that it was very light, which is mean, I didn't like it at first, the lightness, because it's an interesting growth in my interest in knives. Because when I first started, the like the Zero Defect 0450, that was my favorite knife in the beginning, and they're really light, slim knives. And then I ended up more and more liking the heavier knives just because of the feel of the flip and the feel of the grip. But after I had this for a while, I would have to say that I like the lightness. I mean, this one, if there's a gentleman's flipper, this is it. Pretty much perfect centering. Lockup is, to me, that's perfect lockup. What else? I've already talked about the opening is magic. Falls shut, just like I like it, with no adjustment. I'm not sure if this is lubricated or not, but it doesn't need any. That's pretty good. It looks like it's going to be really easy to disassemble because it's just that and 2 screws back here. By the way, these are DLC black screws, which is a nice touch against this. I kind of wish it had some Damas steel in it, but I have not seen any in the really affordable range. But I really like to look at it, and when my wife first saw it, she said, "Oh man, that's pretty," and it is. The packaging's really good. The grip, just because of the nature of the thing, it feels a little slippery with my thumb. It's not going to go anywhere, but something with a little bit more texture. But I think all their knives are going to be something like that. The price is okay. If I would have bought this new, I think that, and that is the other deal. I had to buy the second hand because right now they have kind of a lottery system going on to buy these things. But if I would have bought it new, I think it's about $1,000. And I end up paying about 50% more than that just to have it. And I think that's fair for the kind of price. I think Shurgorovs are really expensive, but this kind of comes in the range. Although, like this is the Neon Ultralight. You can get these for about $700 now. But this is really good fit and finish and everything. The action's great, but it doesn't have all of some of the cool features in this. This is almost like a Shurgorov CD. Sorry to keep comparing to them, but to date, those are the most expensive knives I have. This one now joins that club. So it felt too light to begin with, but now I'm over that, and I'm loving it. One complaint I have, it's not really a complaint because whenever I get a knife, no matter what, I usually adjust it. This one I won't have to, and I sharpen it. They usually come pretty sharp, but this one was not sharp at all. In fact, you can barely see the edge on there. There's a little one, but for instance, if I try to cut paper, it won't. It bites in a little bit and then tears. I usually test the sharpness of my knives by cutting telephone paper, and it won't cut anything on telephone paper. It does, however, cut through cardboard very nicely. So maybe they did this on purpose to be used as a working edge. But what I'll be doing, and I'll insert this into this video, is putting an edge on it like on this Lion PRE. Maybe not that much of a bevel, but, and I can shave with this knife. I like most of my knives either have that bevel or a little bit less than that kind of a bevel. So that kind of surprised me. I already mentioned about how the number is hard to see. I believe if I pull this apart, they did a lot of machining inside to make it lighter that the number of the knife is also in there, which I would think would be very readable because it doesn't have the diamond or the Damascus kind of throwing things off a little bit. The other dislike I guess I like about these is availability is not good. You know, I'm able to save up money and I sell some stuff that I have, and I come up with the money and I think I'm going to go buy one of these now, and they're just, you have to wait around and search everywhere, and if you don't grab it right away, it's gone. There's kind of a Grimsmo Rask fever going on right now. But the ultimate Rask, which is probably one with a anodized, probably like their star pattern. I saw one guy had this already, and the black DLC, excuse me, yeah, this black DLC pocket clip, or there's some other really good ones that have, I think it's a Damascus handle with some really intricate, beautiful color work. Those to me are on the level of the Shirogorov Custom Design Division. And if I were to buy one of the Shirogorovs like that, I probably would have to go to a show or know somebody, and it would probably end up costing me between $4,000 and $8,000. But I think I can probably get one of these guys, even second hand, for in the probably $2,000 to $3,000 kind of range, I'm guessing. So that makes it in a way cheaper. And all these prices are crazy for knives. My wife just kind of rolls her eyes a little bit when she hears what I spend on these things. So I pulled it apart because I'm going to sharpen that blade by itself. I'm going to tape the heck out of it. And you can see all the machining they do, and one of the reasons why it's so light, not just blade thickness, but these things are like hecka light. It's wrong on the, I thought it had the number, and it doesn't. It has the Grimsmo Rask here and a date. Now this is not the date that this must be the date that this was machined, which was probably April, May, June, July, August, like 4 months before they finally finished the knife and sent it out, because it's like an August something date for that. The other thing I noticed that's kind of neat, because I end up having to do this myself to get the action I like. Well, evidently these guys really appreciate good action. The bearing area, and on the other side the detent ball area are all polished, and that's part of what gets you really smooth, pretty action. So good for you guys for doing that. Not a lot of people do that with blades that have either Damascus or stone washed and things like that. Alright, on to sharpening. Okay, so I just finished sharpening it, and you kind of see the difference. You can see the Damascus lines in the blade when you hold it at a certain angle. This was an 18-degree bevel on here. One thing I struggled with a little bit is the back end is thicker than the front, so I had to make some adjustments. But it turned out pretty well. In terms of sharpness, it's pretty sharp right now. I have not stropped it yet, so it's likely to be even sharper. But and while I had this apart, a couple other things I noticed is that one thing that was a little odd is normally I think this side is the pin and this side is the screw that goes in the pin. And I think this is the pretty side, so the head should go there. I guess I could move it over. But usually when you put stuff together, it's nice to have the pin in this side, because then you lay everything down with it locked in place. Not a big deal. What else did I notice? Oh yeah, I think it was cool. I might have mentioned this before. I think it's cool that there's only these are all T9s. I mean, they gave you the tool for it, but it makes it real easy. I think I only have one other knife where all the torque drivers are the same. So I put it together, and it closes just as nice or better than before. It seemed to come unoiled, or there's a very little lubrication showing at all. So I put a little bit more in there, so now it closes a little bit more dangerously. Opening's about the same. In terms of comparisons, I didn't do that before. So there's the Rask. The other Damascus blade I have, this is the Lion TRE Damascus. Really nice blade work on that. And this one's quite a bit bigger than this. This one's really light. This is the one I've been comparing a lot against. This is what I've been comparing it to a lot. It's the Shirogorov Ultralight Neon. I think because the blade is a little bit heavier, it has a real kind of extra kick that you can feel. Nothing super fancy about the steel on this blade. What else can I say? And in terms of size, the blade's a little bit smaller, but it feels heavier. I haven't checked the weights. Another thing to compare it against is the Shirogorov 95T. This is definitely a heavier knife. It feels a lot larger. Let's see how it compares. The blade is just a little bit larger, and the handle's just a little bit larger. How about one more? This is my surprising knife. It's the Venom 3. I think it's Choose. What's his name? I'll put it on the screen. But it's a Chinese made knife made by a guy who does a lot of knockoffs, but this one is original design. I did a review on this. It had a little locking mechanism in here I took out, but it comes out like nobody's business. Closes real nicely. It's a lot heavier. Blade's just about the same, and the handle is longer. So there you go. So that's it. And like I said, I'll be putting in a little segment on what this thing looks like with my edge on it and how it cuts. But even as is, I highly recommend it, even at the price that I paid for it. Oh, I wish it was cheaper. You know, life isn't always fair, huh? So I hope you got some value out of that, and until next time. Goodbye.